Top 8 Ancient Mysteries that were finally solved. I was convinced this was the place. Welcome to the channel, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 ancient mysteries that were finally solved. For the first time, archaeologists are able to give clear answers to these questions. For this list, we're looking at baffling historical questions that have recently received likely and widely agreed upon explanations. What do you make of these answers? Let us know in the comments below. Number 8. The impossible Egyptian sculpture. Housed in the National Museum, Scotland, is this so-called impossible Egyptian sculpture. Just a tiny thing, it depicts a young pharaoh sitting in the lap of a mysterious person whose face has been unfortunately sheared off. For a long time, neither the kneeler nor the pharaoh could be identified, making the sculpture even more impossible to discern. What added to the mystery was the fact that pharaohs are never depicted with non-royal individuals in ancient sculptures. But thanks to recent work done by the museum's curator Margaret Maitland, the mystery has finally been cracked. This statue was made by a cult at Deir el-Medina, which was given exclusive permission to depict kings with non-royals. It likely depicts a young Ramses II sitting on a cult leader named Ramesses. Number 7. Atlantis of the Sands. Iran of the Pillars, Atlantis of the Sands. Call it what you will, but everyone has heard of the Arabian city that was swallowed by the ground. As with many legends, experts have found that there may be a kernel of truth behind the tale. In 1992, archaeologist Nicholas Clapp found an old fortress buried under the sand in Oman, over 2,000 years old. This fortress is thought to have collapsed into a sinkhole and became the source of legend. Further work postulates that this fortress was part of a trading city area known as Ubar that figuratively collapsed once the fortress fell and the demand for incense decreased. Number 6. The Honeycombed Skull of Otranto. On the very eastern tip of Italy lies the coastal town of Otranto, which was targeted in 1480 by Sultan Mehmed II during his invasion of Rome. This skirmish resulted in the martyrs of Otranto, some 800 local men who refused to convert to Islam. Their skulls are proudly displayed in the Cathedral of Otranto, and one is honeycombed with 16 perfectly round holes. So what exactly caused these perforations? The question baffled historians for centuries, until the University of Pisa provided an answer in 2015. They acknowledged that the holes were made by a surgical saw in the late Middle Ages, as bone powder made from religious martyrs was thought to aid in various health afflictions. Number 5. Puyos. Found in southern Peru are a number of spiral wells tunneling deep into the ground. These spiral openings are called Puyos, meaning source or spring, and they're formed from a wall of stacked rocks. Not only is it an amazing sight, but it's an amazing feat of agriculture. These holes form part of an irrigation system meant to bring fresh water throughout the dry desert. But for a long time, we didn't know exactly how they worked. Well, that was answered by Rosa Lassapanara and Italy's Institute of Methodologies for Environmental Analysis. They not only proved that Puyos are pre-Hispanic, they also explained that the intricate system of Puyos utilized wind to push water through a series of underground canals. Number 4. The Water of Palmyra. Found back in the middle of Syria is an ancient city called Palmyra. This was an extremely prosperous city during the Roman Empire, thanks to its prime location on ancient trade routes. In the 3rd century, the kings of Palmyra, notably the famous Queen Zenobia, confronted the Romans and, at times, managed to conquer major parts of the Roman Empire in the east. They basically controlled an area all the way from Asia Minor, modern-day Turkey, to Egypt. There was just one problem that baffled historians for years. How did such a massive city thrive in the middle of the desert? The University of Bergen worked with members of the Palmyra Museum to find answers. Using satellite photos, they studied the surrounding land and realized that buried grassroots kept rainwater on the surface. This rainwater would then form a shallow river called a wadi, and it was collected using a series of dams and cisterns. Nature provided, and humans did the rest. Number 3. Roman concrete. Called by the Romans their concrete, was a special kind of sturdy. Now, this amazing material, Roman concrete, has the great advantage that can be made by semi-skilled people. Concrete is notoriously unreliable and prone to cracks and breakage, yet Roman concrete structures are still standing after thousands of years. So what gives? It's as easy as ash and lime. A volcanic substance known as pozzolanic ash was used in the production of Roman concrete, which prevented cracks from spreading. This was further backed by research done by Stanford's Tiziana Vanorio, who found a natural concrete-like material at the volcanic region of Capo di Fiume. But that's not all. Not only were cracks prevented from spreading, they completely self-repaired thanks to the presence of lime. Number 2. The Great Pyramids. The Great Pyramids have long been a mystery, their answers known only to those who built them. They could be considered the world's most startling architectural achievement, so much so that we still don't know for sure all the details of their construction. The pyramids of ancient Egypt stand like giant sentinels watching over the city of Cairo. More than 2,000 years before the birth of Christ, these stone giants continue to mystify and captivate archaeologists seeking to understand their origins and purpose. But many answers have been revealed over time. We know they used the Nile to ferry limestone, and that they quarried the blocks from nearby Central Field when the water level was at its height. The blocks were floated downstream on barges. They were then unloaded onto a specially constructed landing wall. A massive ramp was also built, via which the great blocks could be hauled to their destination. As the pyramid took shape, we know they took hundreds of thousands of laborers, roughly 20 years to build, and we know they used ramps to build the pyramids in horizontal layers. Perhaps most exciting was an abandoned quarry found in 2017, which helped answer how the blocks were made and confirmed that 250 could have been produced in a single day. Such an awesome feat would never be attempted again. Number 1. The Last Supper. Leonardo da Vinci's The Last Supper is one of the world's most iconic paintings, and yet it holds a mysterious secret that has puzzled scholars for centuries. What's the deal with that mysterious hand gesture made by the figure to Jesus' right? Some believe it's a signal of loyalty, while others suggest it's a signal of disbelief. In 2018, Italian researcher Giovanni Maria Palla offered a new interpretation, suggesting that the gesture is a symbol of astrology, representing the zodiac sign of Scorpio. This theory is supported by the fact that Da Vinci was known to be interested in astrology and that the hand gesture resembles the symbol for Scorpio. However, the true meaning of the gesture may never be known for sure, adding to the painting's enduring mystique. Subscribe for more mysteries videos.